welcome back. Now, in this video, we'll be looking at designing our first page, and that is a current weather page. Now, if this is your first time here, there's a part one to this video, and you can see the link in the description below. I would advise that you first of all check the part one to see the things that we decide to achieve, and in that video, we decide to look at the project structure and all. So in this video, we'll be looking at this page, the very first page, which is the current weather page. Before we start, let me explain to you what we're trying to achieve here. What we'll be achieving at the end of the day, at the end of this complete series, what we want to achieve is such that this current page will have the current weather information of your current location, and also the background image will be a popular image of your current location. So anywhere you are in the world, you get the current weather information of that place, and you get a popular image of that place. And also, what I'm also planning to do also subsequently is to see if you can make the, instead of having a background image, we have a background video, a video that plays subtle at the background to make things look more beautiful. So I want to encourage you to stay tuned and watch through to the end, as those are the things you're going to be achieving. And also in subsequent videos, we'll also be looking at adding your own custom location. So you want, if you have locations like London, Washington, Sydney, Ontario, I want to be able to see the current weather location. So we'll be adding such page in the future. But for this video, what we want to achieve now is to first of all design the current weather page. All right, so let's get started. Now, this was where we left off in our previous video. Nothing much. We just did project structure, design, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this main page, as I'm not going to be needing it. Get rid of it. All right. So in my views, I'm going to create a new item. I'm going to call it, so it's going to be of content page. Then I'm going to call it the current weather page. Okay. Right, we have it at this point. So before we continue, just to avoid error, what I'm going to do is come to the app.xamarin.cs and change this to the current weather page, so that anytime we start this page, so I'm going to resolve this using statement, Control dot to bring out the options, then you select the appropriate using statement. So anytime we run this project, it's going to show this page as a default page for us. All right, so back to our main page, that is our current weather page. On this page, this is what we want to do. Let's look at our prototype and see. So we'll be having about 4 different sections. The first section shows the location where you are and the date, together with the current weather interpretation, the weather description, and in the middle we have the current weather temperature, the current temperature rather, degree Celsius. For now, later we'll see how we can change the units from metrics to other type of measurements. Okay, so the next section is other weather information such as humidity, wind, pressure, and cloudiness. And the last section is the weather forecast for the next 4 days. Okay, and okay, so let's see where we start from. So let's start from the other part. All right, so what I'm going to do, looking at this structure, it looks like we're going to be using a grid. So we want to have a grid. A grid will have 2 rows. The first row we take from here to this part, and the second row we take right from here down to this stage. All right, so then inside the first row, then we can now start to add something like a stack layout to put all these items inside. Okay, so let's get to it. So I'm going to remove this. I'm going to have a grid. Okay, so I want to set the horizontal option to fill and expand, the vertical option to fill and expand. I want to make sure that there is no row spacing. Let's set the row spacing to 0. All right. So the next thing we want to do is to divide our grid into 2 rows, like I said. So this is the definition for our rows. We have 2 rows. The first one takes the rest of the space, while the last one takes a particular. So it's going to set auto. So whatever the size of it is, it's going to just enjoy. All right. So let's first of all define uh, our last row so that you can see it in action. Okay, so now this is what I want to do. Let's run our project in the emulator, and I want us to be able to use auto reload to see as we um, as we continue. So let's see. Da, 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 da. So let's do like this. Okay, so I want us to be able to see this as a code so that we'll all be able to flow together. I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna remove this. Okay. All right. So our project is currently running, as you can see in the emulator, but nothing is currently there. Okay. So let's define the last row. That will be grid.row1. So let's add a grid. So the grid will have some properties. So we're going to set the height to 160 so that you can see. Um, so the height is going to be 160 uh, based on what we have designed. So if you look at this, if you look at our prototype, we have four columns in this place. So we're going to divide our grid into 4 columns. So this is the definition for the grid, and it's set to 4 columns with equal width. All right. So in this grid now, which is the the, the last grid that we divided into 4 columns, we're going to bring a grid uh, in the first column, and we're going to set some properties for it. So let's see. I'm going to set properties like this. So set background color and the opacity. So like you see in this design, the opacity actually increases from this 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, and this is 1. Okay, so we have this. Let's save. So we save this now, and we see our host reload. As you can see, we now have a last grid right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to bring all the other grids and set their opacity and the location. So this is going to be in grid dot column 1, and the opacity is going to be 0.6. Let's save. See, we have it right there. Okay, not sure why this is doing that, but let's Let's continue. Okay. So the opacity of this increased because we already have two other grids that are overlapping. So let's change their current location. So this is going to be 0.6 and this is going to be 1. So we don't need to set it. We need to set this. So grid dot column 2. Sorry, it's not column span. It's just column 2. So let's save this. We already have that. Sorry, this is gonna be 0.8, not 6. Let's save it. Okay, so this is going to be in grid. That's column 3. So let's save. Okay, so now we have the bottom part of the page. All right, so what we are going to do now is to set each of the items inside them. So let's start with this. Want to use the stack layout. Stack layout, and this stack layout is going to have some properties uh, like the horizontal. Want to make it to fill from horizontal, fill from center, both from the horizontal and vertical options. Then right inside, we have labels and we have images. So let's see our prototype. Now here we have two labels that contains the day and the date, the image for the current weather, and the weather, the temperature. Okay, so let's have this back and this. All right. So I'm going to bring in a code snippet that shows how this looks like, and I'm going to explain. All right. So here we have the label for the day and the label for the date. We have the image for the weather information, and we have the um, temperature. So let's save and see what we have here. So as you can see, we already have this displayed. Now there's something I want to explain here. For you to get the degrees Celsius out, um, there's a way to get it on Windows and on Mac. So on your Mac, if you want to get this on Mac, you press Shift plus Option plus 8. Mac is Shift Option plus 8. On Windows, you press the Alt key. Then on your numpad, you press 0176. So you can see we have it here. If you want to do it again, Alt 0176. And you lift up your hand from the Alt key, then you have this degree Celsius right here. Okay, so if you look at what we have done, and now other grids are similar. The only difference is in the date and the temperature. So what I'm going to do is to bring out the code snippet because they look similar. So I will not waste time. Let's put some snippet that I've written right here. Okay, so let's save. As we are saving, we're seeing the information showing. Let's undo this. I need to put this in a stack layout. The code will be available in the repository at every point in time. So if you want to follow using the code, you can see it right there. So let's bring the last item on the list. Okay, so this is how the bottom part is going to look like. Now, the other thing I want to do, let's come back up here. Let's collapse this. Is to now define what's going to be in the main page here. So if you look at our prototype, we want to design this now. Now, so looking at it, we're going to have a grid. The grid is going to have two rows. One is going to take the hamburger menu. The second one will take the rest of this page. Now, the rest of the page will contain a stack layout. So we're going to stack this together, stack this together, and stack all this together and put them in a parent stack layout. So here we have a parent stack layout that will contain everything. So the first item will also be a stack layout to stack these two together. The next one will also be a stack layout to stack these two together inside another stack layout to now stack the Celsius part. Then we have a stack layout that contains this. If you have watched my weather app tutorial before, you see that we have something similar like this in a previous video. Okay, so what we're going to do is to do a grid, like I said. So let's bring our Visual Studio back up. So we have a grid with two row definitions, one set to auto and the other one to take the rest of the space. Okay, so there's a trick that I want to show you at this point. If you look at this prototype, we have the image in the background that's reflecting some color and some gradients. So what we're going to do is we're going to make use of three different elements. We're going to make use of a box view. The box will have the background image. Then we're going to make use of an image itself, image control itself that will hold the background image. Then we'll have another image that's going to serve as an overlay. So this, like this, is the overlay. This is going to be the picture that has opacity, and we have the background, as you can see. So let me undo. So we have the overlay, we have the image. The image has an opacity of 50. If I increase it, you see this is the image opacity of 50. Then we have the background itself. So let's see how we can implement this. All right. So the first thing is the box view that's going to contain the image. So let's bring that in right here. So you see we have a box view has a row span of 2. So because our row definition is actually 2, so we want it to be able to take all the space from right here up to this point. So let's save and see what we have. So like you see, we already have our background, and it's just a box view that takes 2 row span as a background color, horizontal, fill and expand, horizontal option, fill and expand, vertical option, fill and expand. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is to have an image, and the image also will have a row span of 2, horizontal option and vertical option set to fill and expand. We're going to set the source to background image BG, and that BG is already in our asset resource folder. So you see this is now our image control. We have a name for it. Aspect is aspect fill. Row span is 2, source is bg.png. It's already in our resource folder. The opacity is set to 0.5, like I explained. Horizontal option and vertical option, fill and expand. So let's save this to see what we have. So we see what we have. If we change the opacity of this to 1, you will see what I'm talking about, and save. So this is our image without the opacity. If we change back to 0.5 and save, we have it like this. Okay, so the last thing we want to do is to bring that kind of sun effect that we saw right here. Let me show you in the prototype. So you see that we have something that looks like sun coming out of the from the medium. So that's the overlay. So we're going to add overlay to this also. So then we're going to make use of an image, because we already designed the overlay. So that will be the next thing we're going to add. So add an image right here, aspect fill, row span also 2, source is overlay PNG. The overlay PNG is already in our resource folder. Horizontal option and vertical option set to fill and expand. So let's save and see what we have. So like you see, we now have that effect uh, coming out. All right. So now let's start to add the components of our page. The first thing is to add the hamburger menu. So for hamburger menu, we're going to make use of an image button. Set the property to menu.png. The menu.png is in our resource folder already. So you see we have image button, source to menu.png. We have a margin for it, width requests and height requests, horizontal option and vertical option set to center. Let's save and see what we have right here. Okay, so now our menu is here. So mind you, all this image button is only in the first row because there's no row span for it, so it's only in the first row. Okay, so like I explained initially, the other contents from here will be in another grid, and that grid will be in the second row of this other grid now. This grid we're working with. So this is row 1, this is row 2. So this other grid that will contain other information will be in the second grid, and by that the index is grid.row1. Okay, so right inside this grid now we need a stack layout. I could have as well just add a stack layout straight, but I like to put things in grid. It's easier to manipulate and change. So this grid will not be necessary. You can just add a stack layout and start to stack your information. But I like to go like this. There may be some little issues when it comes to performance. I don't know, but I like my parents' options to always be grid. It's easier to manipulate. It's a preference, personal preference. It's not it's not an obligation. Okay, so uh, let's add our stack layout side here, and I want the spacing to be 20. Let's give a spacing of 20. So that will be the space between elements. So that will be the space this between this one and this. So 20, 20 each. All right. So now that we have that, let's bring the first element. That is the weather, the location, the date, and the weather description. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to bring right in here. So if you look at it, we have a stack layout. Inside that stack layout, we have two other stack layouts. The first one contains the image that will show the icon of the weather, and the other one is a label that will show the description of the weather. Then the second stack layout contains the label for location and label for date. We are stacking these two stack layouts also in another stack layout that is horizontal, has a spacing of 50 and horizontal option of center. Let's save this and see. So we have so these two are in stack layout, these two are in another stack layout, and the two stack layout are also stacked together in a stack layout with spacing of 50 and horizontal option of center. So that's why you see that these two are now in the center. All right. Let me remove this so I can see very well. Okay. So the next thing is to now show the weather temperature itself. So for the weather temperature, it follows almost the same pattern. We have a stack layout. Inside that stack layout, we have other information. So let's see, right? here. Let's bring this right in. Okay, so we have a stack layout that contains the measurements, unit of measurement, and right up here before that we have a stack layout that contains the temperature. So this particular stack layout is stacked horizontal, so that we can have the temperature unit and the degree symbol. So, and for each of this label, this is set to 150 font size each of them. Text color is white, horizontal option, center for each of them. So let's save and see what we have. All right, now we're getting there gradually. Okay, so don't forget I said for you to be able to bring out this uh, on Mac, this icon, this symbol on Mac is Shift Option 8, and on Windows it is Alt plus on your number on your keypad say 0176. Then you lift up. Let's do it again. Alt 0176. Then you lift up your hand from the Alt key for you to see the symbol. So that's how you get that. Okay. So the last option here, the last thing that we're going to do is this right here. So the way it has been done is that this contains a grid, and the grid has four columns rather. So we have a parent grid inside the stack layout. The grid has four columns, and each of those columns we have a stack layout that contains each of these elements. So let's start. So we have a grid. So we have a grid of width 300, spacing, column spacing 20, center and expand horizontal option, and vertical option is also center and expand. The grid is divided into four columns, each with equal width each. Okay, so right inside each of those each of the columns, so we want to add each element. So the first element is the humidity. So the humidity is stacked, so we are stacking it. So we have an image for the for the uh, for the icon with this property, height request 25, horizontal option is center. Then we have another stack layout with spacing of 7, horizontal option is center and expand. Inside that we have two labels, one that shows the text of the humidity. The text color is white, font size is 14, font attribute is bold, horizontal option is center. Also the second label, text is humidity. That is showing what we are, the indicator or the label of that menu, of that option rather, of that information, as the case may be. White color margin -5 at the top so that it can move closer. Font size is 11, horizontal option is center. So let's save this to see what we have. Okay, so we have this first one. So the other information also follows the same pattern. So I will just go ahead and copy the remaining three information and paste it right here. So let's save and see what we have. All right. So this is what we have right here. We have this information. Okay, so this is where you're going to stop at in this video. We've been able to design this page to see how it looks like. Now, in the next video, what we're going to do is we'll be making an API call to a weather endpoint to get the current weather of a particular location. So in the next video, we'll use an API call to get the list of uh, weather information for the next 4 days, the weather information for the current location, and we now bind it to the view. So for example, London, we select London, or we select another city, and get the current weather information for that city and display on the screen. So endeavor to subscribe so that when I upload this video, you will be notified. Also, please like this video. If you have enjoyed it, please like, share with friends, share with family, let other people benefit from this information. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video.